I'm pretty sure weightlifting completely messed up my face. I am someone that is prone to getting hormonal acne, and I've had acne all my life since pretty much middle school, high school, and into my adult years. And I noticed it wouldn't go away. It was persistent, and there was a phase where it did go away, but then it came back with a vengeance. And during that time, a couple things that I can note from that time frame was the difference in activity that I was doing and what type of activity that I was doing. And it all kind of came clear towards the end. And I wish I realized sooner. When you go into a doctor's office and you tell them that you have acne concerns, they're not going to try to find the source. What they're really going to do is give you cover up solutions for the issue. So they're not going to check your diet. They're not going to check your hormones. They're not going to check your stress levels or anything like that. None of that is a topic. You go in, you ask about your acne, and they'll try to prescribe you some type of prescription, or they'll try to send you to a dermatologist. They'll try to put you on Accutane, tretinoin. They'll tell you to go over the counter and buy things like salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide and all this other jazz. And yeah, they have a time and place. And don't get me wrong, I do incorporate things like salicylic acid and tretinoin where appropriate, but the best way for you to heal acne is from within. So, with that in mind, understanding how acne works and then working backwards from there is probably your best bet. So, my acne, definitely hormonal because of where it shows up. I get it on my jawline, I get it on my chin, and I get it on my cheeks. I also notice that it tends to get worse when my cycle comes, and it tapers away when my period ends. So things like food can also influence my acne too. So dairy, um, and keeping in mind how dairy makes my acne react, things like dairy and sugar, trying to avoid those things or limit them as best as possible did also help too. But at the same time, it was still so tough to balance a diet that had like such a little amount of dairy in it. And I'm get the sugar part. I'm such a sugar fiend. I don't know about y'all, but like whenever I am stressed, that's my go-to. That's my vice. The thing that I use to feel better that would be like a crumble cookie or some ice cream or things like that. Like I'll go for something sweet. So yeah, tough. So when I went through the phase of limiting my sugar and not using whey protein as a protein source, but like actual whole foods as my protein source, I did see some improvement. But I had to keep digging. I had to keep figuring out why my acne was still flaring up. And then I stopped lifting. And then my skin cleared. And then that's when I made a realization. Oh my goodness. I think with lifting weights, the action of doing it and then healing and recovering from it might have triggered my acne. So, with that in mind, I'm going to share some research that I found about basically the correlation between weightlifting and how it can basically worsen acne for those that are acne prone, especially with hormonal acne. So, when you lift, lifting is considered a physical stressor on the body, and it can influence your hormones. And this is because cortisol increases during intense or prolonged training sessions. So, if you're lifting very heavy with minimal amount of rest, if you're not recovering enough, if you're not sleeping enough, or if you're training fasted too, which I did often but didn't realize, that could also trigger cortisol. And then there's also things like testosterone, and then technically for women, it doesn't change as much as a man, but still the factors are there. And in moderation, it's good for muscle growth, but consistently elevated androgens like testosterone and DHEA, those can lead to increased oil production and breakouts. So that can especially come about around the jawline and the chin. For me, I was also getting it around the lower cheek area too. So, in moderation and when controlled properly, the stress can be managed, but it becomes a problem if you're not recovering properly, like I mentioned. So, There's an increase of sebum. It can trigger your inflammatory responses, and it can also disrupt your menstrual cycle, which in turn worsens the hormonal acne that you're getting. And this is why maybe flare ups with intense new training might help, especially again if you don't have good recovery. So, recovery being sleep, your diet. So, there are some things you can do to help mitigate the effects of weightlifting on your acne. And I mean, for me, like, I stopped lifting cold turkey and realized, I mean, if you want to completely change your regimen, that could be one route. You could go from high intensity to low intensity exercises if you're just looking to maintain your body, or if you're looking for a different result for your physique. Especially now in today's climate, I feel as though like slim and trim, skinny is in. So, I mean, if you're going that route, then this could be the opportunity to do that. Revisiting your training program can help. You can balance your training. Avoiding chronic overtraining can help. And really listen to your body. Any soreness, stiffness, fatigue, tiredness, recovery is so important. Also, managing systemic stress. So, getting enough sleep and hydrating, and really emphasizing the importance of rest days. Rest days are just as important as the exercise days. You go into the gym to add the stimulus, and then really the magic happens after you leave the gym and you're recovering from the stimulus. And then there's also supporting your hormone balance. So if you go to a doctor and you mention your hormones and your concern around them because of your hormonal acne, in my opinion, I feel as though this is a little bit of a tough situation, a little bit of a fight, because unless there's anything like super glaring, and even when there is something super glaring, like PCOS being an instance, it takes a lot of advocating for you to be able to find a doctor that will actually hear you out and see what's wrong with your body. And there's also the factor of how much it costs to, like, there's a lot of people out there that would be able or would want to be able to go and get their hormones checked out, go and spend the time to be able to work with a professional to understand why, like, what's out of whack in the body and like how to fix that. Like, of course, like, who wouldn't want to do that? But again, advocacy and the fact that a lot of these doctors really don't hear you out, and financial issues where this stuff ain't cheap. Like, they don't make it easy at all for you to be able to solve a problem in your body, which sucks, but you know, that it is what it is. There's also the hygienic aspect too of weightlifting. So, ladies, the girls with the curls and the kinks, all right, we use products that tend to be heavy, be irritating, and can seep into our skin. And while of course we want to make sure that our hair looks nice, our you know, our styles are laid and whatnot, at the same time the products are messing us up. Okay, like, they are causing all types of breakouts because as you sweat, it comes from your scalp and it goes to the sides of your face, your forehead, your nose, all that stuff. It all mixes in. And if you don't clean it off, or if you don't prevent it from getting on your face, it's going to cause breakouts. And especially if you take a little while in between the gym and getting home and actually washing all that stuff off, it's just sitting on your skin being absorbed. And keep in mind, when you're exercising, your pores are open. So yeah, it's just taking in all that stuff that's not meant for your skin. So what I also noticed that helped me was, well, for one, making sure that my hands are extra clean and I don't touch my face at all. And I also go in and wash my face at the end of every session before I even leave the gym. Like, before I even get in my car, my face is going to be rinsed. I also sometimes use a sweatband to help catch all of that stuff. But even when I do use a sweatband, I still end up cleansing my face anyway. It just helps prevent a little bit more from getting onto the skin and just catching on. So I highly recommend all of those three. I even use face wipes too as well if I need something quick and like I really really can't wash my face. Bare minimum, I'll have some cleansing cloths that will be inside of my gym bag, and I'll wipe off my face as well to get the dirt off. And surprisingly, like whenever I do that after a gym session, even when I go in with a clean face, I'll still see like stuff on my cleansing wipe, and it blows me away every time. There's stuff there. It's sitting and it's collecting and it's like clogging your pores, and it's just wreaking all types of havoc on the skin. Okay, so big takeaways, all the stuff that helped me: not using whey protein, getting my protein from natural sources, meats, nuts, things like that. Also, cleaning my face immediately also helps. I also used salicylic acid on my skin. Here's a picture of the particular wash that I use. What salicylic acid will do, real quick, is it's an exfoliant, so it'll just keep your skin exfoliated. I also did stop touching my face during lifts. I just don't touch my face anymore. The sweatband, of course. The biggest one is cutting back on high intensity lifting. You only have to do it for a little while and you'll already see the results after like maybe like a week or two, and your skin will readjust. And then keeping good sleep hygiene and also hydration as well. And put all that together in chef's kiss, your hormonal acne will improve. Will it go away completely? I can't guarantee that for you, but all of these together will make something budge. So yeah, keep that in mind. And also, um, while the doctors do tend to give a patch fix, it's up to you to help those products work. If you found this helpful, definitely give me a thumbs up, like this video, and if you have any questions, drop them down below. And until next time, see ya. Bye.